Hello and welcome to the Fluent Journey. I'm Jasmine, your English teacher and guide, and I'm so happy to have you here today. If you're listening to this podcast, it means you want to improve your English, and that is amazing. Learning a language takes time, patience, and practice, but the most important thing is to keep going. And I am here to help you on this journey. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you afraid to speak English? Do you feel nervous or shy when you try to have a conversation in English? Maybe you worry about making mistakes. Maybe you are afraid that people won't understand you. Or maybe you just don't feel confident because English is not your first language. If you feel this way, I want you to know something very important. You are not alone. Many English learners feel the same way. Even people who study English for years sometimes feel nervous when they speak, and that's okay. It's a normal part of learning. But here's the good news. You can become a confident English speaker. Yes, you. No matter your level, no matter your accent, no matter how many mistakes you make, you can do this. And today, I will share some simple and powerful tips that will help you speak English more confidently. So, if you've ever felt afraid to speak, if you've ever hesitated because you didn't know the right word, or if you've ever felt like giving up, don't worry. By the end of this episode, you will have the tools to start speaking with more confidence and less fear. Now, before we dive into today's lesson, let me tell you what you will learn in this episode. By the end of this podcast, you will know exactly how to overcome fear, speak clearly, and improve your confidence in English. First, we will talk about why many English learners feel nervous when speaking. Understanding this will help you realize that your fear is normal, and more importantly, it is something you can change. Then, I will share simple and practical tips that you can start using today. These tips will help you stop overthinking, speak more naturally, and feel more comfortable when having a conversation in English. You will also learn some common mistakes that make people feel less confident and how to fix them. Trust me, sometimes a small change in your speaking habits can make a big difference. And finally, we will have a practice session where you will repeat some key phrases with me. This will help you get used to speaking English out loud so you can build confidence step by step. So, if you've ever thought, I can't speak English well, or what if I make a mistake? Don't worry. Today, you will learn how to replace fear with confidence and hesitation with fluency. Are you excited? Let's begin. Now, let's talk about something very important. Why do we feel nervous when speaking English? Have you ever felt your heart beating fast when you try to speak English? Do you ever feel like your mind goes blank and you can't find the right words? Maybe your hands even start to sweat and you feel shy, so you decide to stay quiet instead of speaking. If this happens to you, don't worry, you are not alone. Many English learners feel nervous when speaking, and it happens for a few common reasons. Let's talk about them. 1. Fear of making mistakes. One of the biggest reasons people feel nervous is because they are afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you're scared that if you say something wrong, people will laugh at you or correct you. Maybe you worry that you will use the wrong word, and people won't understand what you mean. But let me tell you something important. Mistakes are part of learning. In fact, mistakes are a good thing. Why? Because when you make a mistake, you learn. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall many times, but every time they get up, they become stronger. The same is true for learning English. So the next time you feel afraid to speak because you don't want to make a mistake, remember this. It's okay to make mistakes. It's normal, and it helps you grow. The important thing is to keep trying. 2. Worry about pronunciation. The second reason many people feel nervous is because they worry about their pronunciation. Have you ever stopped yourself from speaking because you weren't sure how to pronounce a word? Maybe you've thought, what if I say it wrong? What if people don't understand me? First, Let me tell you something important. Your pronunciation doesn't have to be perfect. Many people in the world speak English with different accents. English is spoken in different ways in the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, and many other countries. Even native speakers pronounce words differently. The most important thing is to speak clearly, not perfectly. If people can understand you, that's what matters. And if they don't understand you the first time, you can simply try again. Speaking is about communication, not perfection. Here's a tip. If you want to improve your pronunciation, listen to native speakers, copy how they say words, and practice speaking every day. You don't need to sound exactly like a native speaker, you just need to be understood. 3. Lack of practice. The third reason people feel nervous is lack of practice. Think about this. If you try something for the first time, like playing a new sport or learning to drive, do you feel confident right away? No. You feel unsure at first, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Speaking English is the same. If you don't practice speaking, you will always feel nervous. But the more you speak, the more natural it will feel. Confidence comes from practice. Many learners focus a lot on reading and writing, but they don't spend much time speaking. Then, when they have to talk, they feel shy and unsure. That's why you need to practice speaking as much as possible. Even if you don't have a speaking partner, you can practice alone. Talk to yourself in English, describe what you see around you, or read aloud. Every little bit of practice helps. The good news. Mistakes help you learn. But here's the good news. Making mistakes is okay. In fact, it's the best way to learn. Think about a child learning to ride a bicycle. Do they get on the bike and ride perfectly the first time? No. They fall, they wobble, they lose balance. But each time they try again. They get better. Soon they can ride confidently without even thinking about it. The same is true for speaking English. If you wait until you're perfect, you will never start. But if you practice every day, even with mistakes, you will improve. And one day, speaking English will feel natural and easy for you. So, don't let fear stop you. Don't worry about pronunciation too much. And most importantly, practice, practice, practice. So now that we understand why we feel nervous when speaking English, let's talk about how to fix it. How can you become a confident English speaker? The good news is that confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you can build with practice. In this section, I'm going to share 6 simple and powerful tips that will help you speak English more confidently. These are practical strategies that you can start using today, so let's get started. 1. Think in English. First, let's talk about thinking in English. One big mistake that many English learners make is translating everything in their head before speaking. If you always think in your native language and then translate to English, it takes too much time. This makes you hesitate, feel nervous, and lose confidence. So, what's the solution? Stop translating and start thinking directly in English. Now, I know this sounds difficult, but don't worry. It's easier than you think. Start small. When you wake up in the morning, instead of thinking, I need to get up in your native language, try saying it in English. I need to get up. When you see something around you, describe it in English in your mind. If you see a blue car, say to yourself, that is a blue car. If you are hungry, say, I am hungry. I want to eat something. At first, it might feel strange, but the more you do it, the more natural it will become. Soon your brain will start using English automatically. 2. Practice speaking every day. The second tip is practice speaking every day. Let me ask you, how often do you actually speak English? Many learners spend a lot of time reading, writing, and listening, but they don't practice speaking. Then, when they try to talk, they feel nervous and can't find the right words. The best way to fix this is to practice speaking every single day. Even if you don't have a speaking partner, you can still practice. Here are some ideas. Talk to yourself. Stand in front of a mirror and have a short conversation with yourself in English. Describe your day. Before bed, talk about what you did today in English. Use a language app. Apps like Cambly or HelloTalk let you speak with native speakers. Record yourself, speak for 1 minute, then listen and see where you can improve. Speaking English should be a daily habit. The more you speak, the more confident you will feel. 3. Learn common phrases. The third tip is to learn common phrases. Many learners worry about grammar and long, complicated sentences. But in daily conversations, native speakers don't use difficult grammar all the time. Instead, they use simple, natural phrases. For example, instead of thinking, "I must inquire about the price of this item," a native speaker would say, "How much is this?" So, don't try to memorize too many difficult words. Instead, focus on learning useful phrases that you can use in daily conversations. Here are a few examples. How are you? For greeting someone. Can you help me? For asking for help. I'm not sure. For expressing uncertainty. That sounds great. For responding positively. If you memorize common phrases like these, you won't have to think too much when you speak. Your words will come out naturally, and you will feel more confident. The fourth tip is slow down and speak clearly. Many English learners try to speak fast because they think it will make them sound fluent. But speaking too fast can actually make you more nervous and less clear. It's perfectly okay to speak slowly. In fact, many native speakers prefer when someone speaks clearly rather than quickly. So, focus on clarity instead of speed. Here's a simple trick. Take a deep breath before you speak and pause between sentences. This will help you stay calm and speak with more confidence. Also, open your mouth more when you speak English. Some sounds in English are different from your native language, so if you don't open your mouth properly, your words may sound unclear. Remember, it's better to speak slowly and clearly than to rush and feel nervous. The fifth tip is to listen and copy native speakers. The best way to improve your speaking is by listening to how native speakers talk. Pay attention to their pronunciation, their intonation, how their voice goes up and down, their common phrases, then copy them. This is called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a sentence and repeating it exactly as the speaker says it. For example, if you hear a sentence like, "What do you want to do today?" Try saying it the exact same way. Copy the speed, the rhythm, and the tone. You can do this with movies and TV shows, English podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks. If you practice copying native speakers, your pronunciation and confidence will improve very quickly. 6. Be confident and smile. And finally, be confident and smile. Did you know that your body language can affect your confidence? If you stand up straight, make eye contact, and smile, you will automatically feel more confident. Try this. When you speak English, stand or sit up straight. Look at the person you're talking to. Smile. Smiling makes you feel relaxed, and it also makes people more comfortable talking to you. Even if you make a mistake, if you smile and stay confident, people will still understand you. Also, don't apologize too much. Many English learners say, "Sorry, my English is bad." But instead of saying that, say, "I'm learning and I'm improving every day." Remember, confidence is a choice. You don't have to speak perfect English to be confident. You just have to believe in yourself and keep practicing. Final words. So, let's quickly review the 6 tips we learned today. Think in English. Stop translating and start thinking in English. Practice speaking every day. Even if you're alone, find ways to speak English daily. Learn common phrases. Memorize useful sentences for daily conversations. Slow down and speak clearly. Take your time and focus on clarity. Listen and copy native speakers. Use shadowing to improve pronunciation. Be confident and smile. Your body language affects your confidence. If you follow these simple tips, you will start to feel more comfortable and natural when speaking English. Remember, learning English is a journey. Every time you practice, you are improving. So keep going, keep speaking, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Now it's time for practice. Speaking English confidently is not just about learning tips, it's about using them. So in this section, I want you to speak with me. Yes, you. Don't just listen. Repeat after me. If you are alone, say the sentences out loud. If you are in a public place, you can say them quietly. But no matter where you are, make sure you speak. The more you practice speaking, the more comfortable and confident you will feel. So, let's begin. 1. I can speak English confidently. Our first sentence is, I can speak English confidently. I will say it slowly first. Listen carefully to my pronunciation. I can speak English confidently. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. Good. Now, let's say it again, but this time, try to say it louder and with confidence. I can speak English confidently. Great job. Now, one last time, but this time, say it with a smile. Smiling while you speak English helps you feel more confident and relaxed. Let's do it together. I can speak English confidently. Yes, that's the energy I want to hear. Every time you say this sentence, you are telling your brain, I am confident. The more you say it, the more you will believe it. And soon, confidence will become a natural part of your English speaking. 2. It's okay to make mistakes. Now, let's move on to our second sentence. It's okay to make mistakes. Many people feel afraid of making mistakes when they speak English. But guess what? Making mistakes is a good thing. It means you are learning, growing, and improving. So, let's say this sentence together. First, I will say it slowly, and then you repeat. It's okay to make mistakes. Good. Now let's say it again, but this time, relax your shoulders and take a deep breath. Speaking English is not a test, it's a journey. Let's try again. It's okay to make mistakes. Perfect. Now, one last time, but this time, say it with full confidence and energy. It's okay to make mistakes. Yes, that's the right mindset. Never be afraid of mistakes. Every mistake you make is a step forward in your learning journey. 3. I will practice speaking every day. Now let's practice our third sentence. I will practice speaking every day. Speaking English is just like learning to play a sport or a musical instrument. If you only practice once a week, you won't improve quickly. But if you practice every single day, even for a few minutes, you will see big progress. So, let's say this sentence together. Listen carefully, and then repeat after me. I will practice speaking every day. Great. Now let's try again, but this time, say it with more energy. I will practice speaking every day. Fantastic. Now, one last time, but this time, say it as if you truly believe it. This is not just a sentence, it's a promise to yourself. Let's do it. I will practice speaking every day. Yes, that's the spirit. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Speaking English should be a habit, just like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. Make it a part of your daily life, and soon, speaking English will feel natural and easy. Now, let's put everything together. We will say all 3 sentences one after another. I will say them first, and then you repeat after me. Ready? 1. I can speak English confidently. 2. It's okay to make mistakes. 3. I will practice speaking every day. That was great. Now, let's say them one more time, but with even more confidence. Imagine that you are standing on a stage speaking in front of a big audience. Speak loudly and proudly. 1. I can speak English confidently. 2. It's okay to make mistakes. 3. I will practice speaking every day. Yes. That was amazing. Every time you feel nervous, repeat these sentences to yourself. They will remind you to be confident, to keep trying, and to never give up. Speaking English is like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you practice, you are getting one step closer to fluency. So I challenge you. Say these sentences every morning when you wake up. Say them before you practice speaking. Say them when you feel nervous. Make them a part of your daily routine. Confidence comes from action. The more you speak, the more comfortable you will feel. And remember, you can do this. Keep practicing, and soon English will feel like a natural part of your life. That's it for today's practice session. Keep speaking, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Fluent Journey.